Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Last show I want to talk about that I've been watching recently, Love on the Spectrum Season 2. Now, I talk about Season 1 on this show? It may have been forever ago, but I don't remember. But this show is really great. It's like the most wholesome dating show that's ever existed, ever. Love on the Spectrum. So if you don't know what Love on the Spectrum is, it's basically people who are on the autism spectrum date and then go on dates. And I know what you're thinking. I'm going to make fun of autistic people. No, because I have class. There aren't really, and honestly, there's not really any jokes I can make. First of all, that's one thing. But also, it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of poor taste to do shit like that. Just making fun of autism. It's kind of like making fun of fat people you don't know. It's just like, I don't know you. Why am I making fun of your weight? It's like someone, you find someone who's like 300 pounds, you're like, oh, look at you, fatso. You don't realize they used to be 400 pounds, and they just recently hit that 100-pound mark. That's why you don't make fun of fat people you don't know. Make fun of the fat people you do know. That's my lesson to you. Only make fun of fat people you know personally. Anyways, though, and another thing why I would not make fun of them, mainly because I'm a classy individual, and I'm probably the smartest person you all know. That's why you're here today. They're also better at dating than the countless women I talk to on a daily basis, and other men who talk to women, and so on and so forth, and, whatever gender you're inserting today are into. Like, they actually date better than normal people. I don't want to say I don't want to say normal people. It makes me like talking about them like they're crazy. They're not. They just say funny things at the wrong time. That's all. That's all it really is. But I think they do date. It's like, I'm not interested in this woman anymore. You know what? I'm gonna tell her that I'm not interested. I was like, why can't people not on the spectrum do that? That seems why can't normal people do that? Why can't we communicate? They communicate, because I feel like isn't autism supposed to be somewhat like a communication disorder or like stuff like that? Like that's one of the problems, but they're communicating way better than people who are technically not on the spectrum. So that's what surprised me. And I think I was talking to a friend about this. He was like, so are you thinking about dating someone on the spectrum? And I'm like, I don't know if I should be answering this question, especially not on the internet. Anyway, so let me go over some of the people on the show. First, we get Michael. Michael was on last season, so if you watch the first season, Michael is back. He's an old school guy, like Big Time Tommy. How you doing, Instagram? It's Big Time Tommy. And apparently, his mom tells the story. So he likes wearing suits, and so when he was a kid, I guess he was like, I want to be a gangster when I grow up. And this is in Australia, so they're not the gangsters we know in the United States. And so he wanted to wear suit Tom, and then his mom had to ruin his dreams. Be like, you know what gangsters do, and then he explained what gangsters do, and it was weird. So basically, he ends up meeting a girl named Heather on like a speed dating night, and she was also on the spectrum, which I don't know if that was set up intentionally. Anyways, they're both very sweet. Anyways, you just watch them dating. I don't want to spoil too much for you. But anyways, he's really into Buddhism and horoscopes and stuff like that, which is weird to me because isn't that what women with no personalities are into? Anyways, though, I'm not going to hold that over him. He's into other shit too. So anyways, he's a cool guy. Next up is Ronan. He is a ginger. That's not any specific reason. I just wanted to point that out. He's really into like F1 car racings and stuff like that. And so that's basically what he likes. Everyone, it seems like people on the spectrum seem to have one specific interest. And I guess this is F1 racing. Anyways, he ends up meeting a girl named Katie. She has Down syndrome, but they don't bring up she has Down syndrome on the show, which is not a big deal. But also at the same time, I'm like, why didn't they bring up she had Down syndrome? Anyways, though, I don't know if that was a big deal. I was just pointing that out. They don't bring up she has Down syndrome at all in the show. So yeah, basically it just shows them going on first days and meeting, and they go to like an F1 racing simulator, and I thought things might have gotten out of control. Like he was like he had Katie try out, and I thought he was gonna like be like, "You're doing it wrong," freak out, but yeah, it ends up being fine and everything. They race, they have a good date. I also realized they got like really lovey dovey's, like, "Oh, Katie, I love you so much," and say shit like that. I'm like, ugh. Like, I don't like it when people not on the spectrum apparently do it, and I don't care for them either. But anyways, yeah. So, just because you're on the spectrum doesn't mean I don't want to see you be all lovey dovey with each other. It's just the yeah. Anyways, though, people happy and in love. Ugh. So yeah, that's Ronin. Like I said, this is a very wholesome show. This is the most wholesome show that will ever exist. We get Mark. He came back from last season. He's really into dinosaurs. He meets up with Chloe. Now, Chloe was on the last season too, and they end up meeting. They end up meeting each other, going on a date at a dinosaur park and everything. I guess they've hung out a couple times before this, but ends up at the end of it, Chloe's like, "Hey, Mark, will you be my boyfriend?" I'm like, "Good job, Chloe. Way to be forward. Women don't have to women can make the first moves. It's okay. I don't care if a woman makes first move. I don't give a shit. But I also don't care about a lot of things. Which one is it?
Simp.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh, no.
This is the type of guy you get.
There we go. I'm just remembering the layout still. So yeah, so I think that's cool. Apparently they didn't make it in the end, but they did have a whirlwind of a romance, which is what I wanted to hear. Next up is Cassandra. Now I don't have much to say about her. There's two people on here. They're just kind of boring. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with being boring, in real life. But like, if you're gonna be on TV, you kind of have to not be boring. You either can't be boring, you have to be really fucking crazy. Yeah, I guess one comment she gets a lot is like, "You don't look autistic," which you don't. Which, I can't believe people are saying that out loud. Because autism doesn't really have a look to me. So if we could learn any lesson, if you see someone who's autistic, don't say, "You don't look autistic," out loud. Just say it in your head, okay? Okay, just say it in your head. It's not a big deal. It's not something the world needs to know, that you think someone doesn't look autistic, okay? So I think I have 3 more. Teo, she's went down my favorite of this new season. She's just a very lovely person, and she just has very good energy and a very nice person to be. She'd be very fun to be around, stuff like that. And also, I think I say that because she reminds me of someone, and I thought, like, do I know her? Like, usually you don't see that on TV. You're just like, I know. You're like, do I know you? Do I know you from somewhere? That's the thing, though, with Teo. Like, I just feel like I knew her, and I still don't think, I can't figure it out. Even if she just reminds me of one specific person, can't figure it out. But anyways, like, yeah, she's awesome. She's 22. She's never been on a date before. But, like, her story is like, I just see how much my parents love each other, and they're, like, best friends. And I just want something like that. And so that's basically the premise. But she's also, like I said, she's never dated. She's 22. She's never dated before. So to me, she's like a youngin'. But I'm only 28, though. I don't know why I'm thinking like 22 years old. That's you're youngins. Anyways, but she's also not like fully knowing of her sexuality yet, which I guess a lot of people are gonna be watching. So I was like, how do you not know if you're gay or straight? I'm just like, I don't know. Some people are okay with both and don't know. It's like, you don't know what you're like. You could say like, it's hard to actually figure out your sexuality. That's why people are so confused, and they're like 40 with they turn like 50 with 2 kids and like are cheating on their wives with other men. And that's like, they don't know their sexuality, and people just don't know that shit. Sometimes I feel like maybe a lot more people like both than we realize, and just some people don't act on it, I don't know. Sexuality is so weird, and I'm only a man, folks, and so much. So she goes on a date with a guy, then she goes on a date with a girl. She's like, I think I like the girl more than the guy. I think I'm more attracted to women, so I think they're still together, but I guess the guy's like, oh, all right. I had fun, though. Well, I mean, like, that was a good excuse. Though it's like, hey, I don't think it's going to work out between us. He was like, oh, yeah, so I'm not sure if I'm attracted to men. And then she's like, oh, okay. And like, a relief for every man out there. It's like, oh, okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense. That's their love story, and I guess it's going well these days. Like, Taylor's a great person. She's probably the best part of my favorite person on the entire show. So, with that being said, let's move on. Jaden, he's also kind of boring, which, like I'm telling you, it isn't bad to be boring. Like, at some point, being boring means, like, you have your life together. And what does that say about me? So he is bisexual, and he's very much aware of that. So he goes on a date with a guy and a girl, but he ends up getting a relationship with a guy because bros before hoes. That's all I really have to say about him. He seems like a nice guy. He does in the weightlifting and stuff like that, so good for him. He didn't really seem... Oh, yeah, he knows a lot of, like, facts about stuff, so that's kind of thing. Final couple I have Jimmy and Charnay. Okay, so the reason why they're like a normal couple, but Charnay looks very similar to a friend's ex-girlfriend who is really crazy. Like, I'm telling you, she is crazy. And I know most men have ruined saying that some women are crazy because they just broke up and they're trying to excuse their bad demons or whatever shit. But many of us unanimously know she is very crazy. And I wish I could tell you stories about her. I want to tell you many stories about her. But from what I don't want her back in my life or interacting with me in any reason, even if I don't say her name, just telling stories about her.
That's rough, buddy.
Because she is crazy. I'm telling you, she is crazy. And at one point, like, she was a very good friend in my life. But anyways, she is really crazy. I just thought it was funny. That there was like, oh, kind of looks like... shit, I have to bleep that out. Oh, well. But anyways, her husband, Jimmy, is competing in a foosball tournament. And, not foosball. What did I say foosball? Competing in a pool tournament. So they go to Vegas. And then the end of the episode, they end up getting married. It's very sweet and memorable. So, yeah. That's Love on the Spectrum. Very, very wholesome show. Hey, thank you for checking out that highlight from Cancel Schweezy. Now, I hope your brain cells don't hurt. We got more highlights available now everywhere. We also got more full episodes as well. If you want to watch a full episode of Cancel Schweezy, available now, right here, right now, available now. If you liked everything, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified when new highlights and episodes come up. And leave a comment, like, and stay awesome.